What is up, traders? Welcome to this brand new video. In this video, I am going to be giving away one of my models that I've been using personally in my funded accounts and in my live accounts to actually make quite a bit of money, and is based on a couple of the very important ICT concept stepping stones, and that is going to be liquidity, displacement, imbalance, and market structure. So these are really strong pillars. You are going to have all of these confluences that I just listed in your favor, making this model extremely profitable. This model will also cover something that I've seen you guys in the community struggle with quite a lot. So Mark, or Jaguar FX, and myself, we've been seeing a lot of people trying to catch a falling knife. So they see that the market is trending really heavily to a certain point. They are eyeballing the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame. They see a high or a relative equal high being taken out, and they try to capture every single small market structure shift, which is not even a relevant one, which doesn't have enough displacement. And this model will actually do the complete opposite. You will be catching continuation trades, which in my opinion, if you have issues establishing a daily bias, is going to be the most lucrative thing for you. Let's actually get right into the model. The model is going to be looking something like this. We want to have a really clear trend followed by a break of that trend, and it can be the last low that we established, or it can be the low right here, but I will cover that in just a second. So let's imagine this low gets taken out. We want to see that low being taken out, not in this fashion, right? We don't want to see a really strong displacement move down. What we want to see is this move being taken out and us then displacing to the upside once again. And once we do that, we will try to catch an entry of either the breaker block or of a fair value gap. So in this case, a trade could look something like this, and I will cover exactly how you need to place your stop loss and so on and so forth. But these are the basic rules. Let me quickly go over them again. We have a clear trend followed by a sweep of liquidity, followed by a market structure shift. We also need to have strong displacement. So we need to really show that the market has intention of continuing moving upwards. Then we establish a point of interest to actually enter from, which can be a breaker block, or it can be a fair value gap. Now there can be a couple of variations of this model, and it's going to all become clear because I'm going to cover stop loss management, take profit, and so much more. But we could also have a variation that basically looks like this. What we will see is that another one of these lows that we put in gets taken out, and we then actually have the same thing happen. So we take out that last high that we created quite aggressively with a really strong V-shaped recovery. We then tap either into a breaker block or into an FEG, something like that, and then take a continuation trade upwards. Now, other than all of the required confluences being there, so we have a sweep of liquidity, we have displacement, we have a market structure shift, and we are trading pro trend, you will also be able to catch trades in premium and discount zones and stack your own confluences. Now, the way I manage this trade, and now you have to listen carefully, I'm going to also put it on the screen. The way I manage this is I enter on the breaker block only if it is around the 50% level. And I quickly wrote it down for you guys. So we are only going to enter off of a breaker block if the breaker block is around our 50% premium discount zone. And that's really simple. You just grab a FIB tool, you highlight the 0.5% level, the 0 and the 1, and then you will see that right here, this middle line is going to be my 50% level. We can see that in this case, the breaker block aligns with that, so we can actually take an entry off of that breaker block in this case. Now, in the second example here, where we actually sweep liquidity from one of the previous lows, we can see that the breaker block is in a premium zone. So at that point, we are going to be looking for a fair value gap to actually enter off of. And as for our stop loss management, we are always going to be placing our stop loss below the extreme FEG, and not just below that FEG, but actually below the candle previous to that FEG. So it could look something like this. And the same goes for when we enter off of a breaker block. We will enter on the breaker block, and then our stop loss will go below that FEG. And I recommend you to always try to aim for 2R. Now be realistic with that, right? I suggest you to go to the higher time frame, and I know this can be difficult to actually find these pools of liquidity and higher time frame confluences. So if you do want to learn more about that, I do have a really cheap elite membership, which includes a course and support. You can ask any question we want. It's extremely cheap. If you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. But other than that, you can actually use this method completely for free. If you do want to delve into more details of ICT concepts, I do recommend you to check out that elite program. Now, let's actually jump into some of these live examples here. And I am not a trader that actually cherry picks stuff. So what I will do is I will go to the recent last days on EU. You're not gonna per se find a trade every single day, so I cannot promise you that it is going to be a trade on the 17th. What I will do is I will look at the chart. I will look if the setup occurred, and you tell me if this is what I was telling you or not, and we will see what the results give us. All right, so here looking at the market, we are clearly making higher highs and we are creating higher lows. So at this point, we are bullish. We don't really seem to be taking out any of these lows before the market is showing that it's exhausting and is actually showing lower highs and lower lows, right? So at this point right here, we have a high, create a low, create a lower high, create a lower low. We proceed to then make a lower high. And we then notice that we actually take out both of these highs right here. So this qualifies as a sweep of liquidity. So all we're waiting for right now is a market structure shift. And as you can see with this leg to the downside, so first we have that sweep of liquidity. Let me remove these lines. We have our sweep of liquidity. We have our market structure shift. So now all we're going to do is we are going to be looking for that last breaker block that we have and see if this is within our premium and discount zone. So in this case, the breaker block is going to be right over here, as you can see. And if we take a look at our premium discount zone, we can see that this breaker block, so this one isn't, right? Because we could call this a breaker block as well. Now this one is, and this one is in our premium zone. And since we are going to look for shorts, this will be a perfect entry. So this is our breaker block. What are we going to do? We're going to place a short order there. And we are going to cover the extreme FEG, in this case, this one. I will not count this FEG right here because it already got mitigated by this candle. Let me zoom in for you to see. So this wick right here already took out this FEG. So in this case, my stop would be somewhere over here. And what are we then going to do? We are going to aim for 2R. Let's see, we have some really nice liquidity resting below here. As you can see, some relative equal lows. So that's something that we could target for, in this case, 2.5R. And as you can see, this trade works out just fine, netting you 2.5R. Let's look for another example on a previous day. So this was actually an example of today. As you can see, today it is the 17th of July. Actually, when I'm recording where I'm living, it's already the 18th because it is after 12, but that doesn't matter. Let's actually look at another example here. All right, so as you can see on the chart right now, what we're looking at is some really bearish market structure before we then actually show that the market is going to flip bullish. And again, this is pretty basic market structure. I have a really simplified and refined version on market structure covered in the course if you're interested in that. We can see that we are starting to make higher highs and higher lows, right? This is all structure. And then we notice that we have this candle right here, and I'm going to remove the lines in just a second, but we can all agree that we are bullish at this point. We really reached very high up here. So let me remove the structure. We then seem to take out that low that we created. So we have our sweep of liquidity. So now we are waiting for a market structure shift, which we do get. And in this case, as we can see, the breaker block is right over here. But if we take a look at the displacement that created initially, this breaker block, this entry would be in a premium. So what we will do in this case is we will enter off of the FEG that we have right here. So as we can see right here, there is a fair value gap. So we set our long order on that fair value gap. We cover the low of that candle right there because the previous candle's low is higher. And what do we target? Let's look to the left right here. What we can see is that we have this high from Asia right here that we can easily target. And in this case, that would net us 3.15R. And these are back-to-back days, right? I am not really cherry picking anything. I'm looking at the chart. I'm explaining you what I'm seeing. And of course, my subscribers and the elite members will have a thorough understanding of what I'm doing. I'm doing this live in the free Discord server every single day. By the way, it is completely free, so feel free to join. If you have any questions related to this strategy, feel free to either leave them in the comments, or if you want a faster response from someone from the community or myself, I encourage you to join the Discord server. But other than that, I hope this strategy is helpful for you. I encourage you to really thoroughly backtest this. Don't just go ahead and trade this in the live markets. Trading is risky. If you do want to trade this live, I highly encourage you to do it on a demo account and to not risk real funds. But I do hope you found the value that you were looking for. If you did, I would highly, highly appreciate if you could leave a little comment thanking me, liking this video, perhaps even subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. And other than that, I wish you all a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you in the Discord or in the YouTube comments. Catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Hi there. Does your equity curve look something like this? And would you rather have your equity curve look like this? Are you jumping around from strategy to strategy, never really fully understanding or resonating with what you're doing? Are you intrigued or inspired by ICT and SMC concepts, but is it just too difficult for you to grasp? Are you looking for a group of traders that's actively chatting, who are all really like-minded and are all trading the same profitable way? Then the Identity FX Elite program is just a program for you. In this program, you get a full free course. The course contains everything about simplified ICT and SMC concept. We have proven profitable coaches. We deliver continuous one-on-one support. We do trade recaps on almost every single trade, and we have a room filled with like-minded traders. We currently have close to 100 elite traders already who are all reaping the benefits. If the testimonials available in the free Discord server are not intriguing enough just yet, and if all of the provenly funded traders are not convincing you just yet, then perhaps check out the full course content from the Elite program, which is currently open but has limited spots and will close in the future. You can check out the links in the description. Don't miss out on this insane program. Not convinced yet? Feel free to join the Discord server.